Hazme la ciencia.
What is going on in the building? Got my man Mookie Hawkins.
What's up?
Wolfo 1080. Bills Rider. Man, we got a bit of normalcy back today.
Good day. Today is a good day. Good Monday.
The boys strapped the pads on today.
Man, I mean, for the first time, officially looked like camp, all the Zoom stuff and the virtual practices and all of that stuff. Today looked like football today. Finally, it like you said, things have looked back to normal. What we saw out there today. Well, what few people saw out there today.
Eric, what's up? Mario, what's up? We got the Bills Mafia in the building. Guys, what a day, what a day. We back. We got the pads on. We about 27 days now from opening day. I mean, man, it feels good to somewhat be back.
It just looked good just to see the guys out there in uniform and pads and just running around, just running around competing. And I'm quite sure it's going to get heated as this week goes on. It's going to be real heated. I mean, Josh Norman seems he has no problem on being physical right off the rip. So I like what I saw. Our new guys coming in, just about every bit is advertised. With Josh Norman and Stefon Diggs. Let's just cut to the chase. Hollywood, a.k.a. Joshy Boucher, my guy, he looked it real good, as well. He had some stretches out there in the second half of the session where, he was dead on, like he was on fire. So, hopefully that stuff can carry over. And we play those Jets on the 13th. I'm just real excited to see how the team will progress till then.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, we're almost there. But yeah, so the big talking points today was obviously everybody wanted to know how our QB1 Josh Allen was going to look coming out. We know he's been putting in that work with Jordan Palmer in California, quarantined with Sam Darnold, Joe Burrows. I forget who else is down there. Mark Sanchez.
Right.
So he's been putting in that work in California, and we know exactly how he looked when he came into camp last year. He looked different than he did his rookie season, and if today was anything indicative of what is to come, the league got a problem.
Oh, they definitely got a real problem. I don't know, if they know it now, it'd have been brief, but it's gonna be some problems out there offensively, and that's the big question mark concerning the Bills in year 3, Josh Allen's year 3. Will the offense come and join the party? And it was all about. I mean, you can't even say it really was all about, making sure that they got the right pieces on the offensive side. Draft, yeah, they really addressed it in the draft. Free agency, we addressed it on the defensive end, but to surround Josh Allen with the weapons that he has now in his third year, I think that he really has, starting to evolve as a quarterback. He's starting to mature. I want to say evolve, but mature. You can see that, from year 1 to year 2, now to year 3, he pretty much, is familiar with how camp runs. He's pretty much familiar how Dayball wants things. So, he came out and he looked good today.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is what we want to hear. This is what we want to see. It's no surprise to myself. I know it's no surprise to you. If anybody knows anything about Josh Allen and this man's work ethic, it's something legendary.
Right.
It's something legendary. I mean, and today he came out. I mean, he was hitting Diggs, he was hitting Beasley, he was hitting the rookies. I mean, we'll talk about the rookies today too, the 2 receivers that Gabriel Davis and Isaiah Hodgins, because Marcel Louis Jacques had a very interesting tweet about these boys and how they look up close in person, as if they already got NFL body types, which is as obviously as we both know, is a very huge thing to have coming into this league, especially as a receiver. That's why they're usually slow to develop. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit too. But Stefon Diggs, man, let's just hop right into it. Everybody wants to see our man Stefon Diggs in the red, white, and blue. We've seen pictures. We've been teased all off season, waiting for it. Today, the man, the myth that I'm gonna call him the legend, because exactly what he's gonna be here in Buffalo, hit the field. The biggest wide receiver acquisition since T.O. James Lofton hit the field today. Dazzled. He looked good. What you think about Stefon Diggs?
Well, I mean, it's Stefon Diggs. Everything that we seen, on tape, everything that we seen from all his workout tapes, we saw it all today. It's just kind of like amazing to see, that we really have a guy that you're a real true receiver threat. Somebody that poses a threat. When you even just mention his name, it just sounds threatening. Like, it's going to horrify, secondaries, in that AFC, because, he's on our team. All that mantra he brings, and then it's no doubt in my mind that it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for teams to. It's going to be hard not to throw him the ball. And it's just going to be hard. That's why I say I see a lot of targets. I see Josh Allen going over 500 passing attempts. He's going to be a little bit more efficient than he was last year. So, everybody got an opportunity to eat. Everybody still has a good opportunity to get a fair amount of targets. I think Beasley, Brown, and Diggs will probably, have over 100 targets apiece. So, it's going to be real fun to watch.
It's going to be real hard getting able to run that football with these weapons and toys they got out there, man. It's going to be hard for him, but he got to do
well. If you take care of business, get the game over with, go out there and score some points, then your run game go ahead and control the rest of the game. So it works hand in hand. But right. What are you going to do? Are you going to go out there and say, let's blow the roof out this thing? We get the matchup we want. Let's attack. Okay, let's attack. Now we up 21. Then now, hey, we can run the ball, kill the clock, and that's where Moss and Motor are going to kill you at.
Okay, we're gonna make sure you guys make sure that you're putting your comments in the chat, and that you're putting your comments in the chat. Like and share the show if you can, please. We want more people to get exclusive Cold Front Report content that we don't charge you for. So make sure that you like and share the show. Make sure that you're putting your comments up. I'll get your comments so you go. If you're watching this on my live stream page or my personal page, please make sure you go to Cold Front Report page because I will not be able to see your comments. If you're on YouTube, make sure you come over to the Cold Front Report page on Facebook as well. I'll get your comments and we'll get to your questions before the night is over. But yeah, man, back to our man Stefon Diggs. I mean, the first video that came out this morning was Stefon walking on the field. The second video that came out this morning was Stefon Diggs damn near juking the cameraman out the screen, man. I mean, this boy footwork is something amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be hard for them not to throw him the ball.
Right.
And it's just gonna be hard for him. It's just gonna be hard. But it's going to be a good thing because it's going to help everybody else. It's going to elevate everybody. Like, look at this route: stick, press. You know what I mean? He's very shifty, and his feet is just out of this world. So no, basically he just ran it down and out. All right, that's how you run it down and out in this modern era. Back in the days, you just go 5 to 7 yards. Stick the foot and you turn out. But now you got to, you got to create separation. So you got to get those cornerbacks to move. I teach my kids that a lot of time, all the time. And just to finally have it in our buildings, to have it on our team. I'm very excited for Josh. I'm very excited for the offense. There's no excuses. There's absolutely no excuses this year for the offense not to be the most explosive that they've been in the past 3 years. We should not just be scoring 20 points. We should not just be scoring 25 points. We should be scoring 30 points or better. If you want to be, one of the upper echelon elite teams in the NFL, you got to be able to at least put up close to 30 points per game. Anywhere between 27 to 30 points a game, we good, especially with the defense we got. So, if we can go out there and jump on teams early with the weapons that we have, the defense is going to play phenomenal, So if we can help the defense out by, having good leads, maintaining that with our run game and playing sound defense, man, we could easily be in Tampa, this year. So I'm really excited to see how, with all these weapons there, you see the rookie Gabe Davis is looking pretty good as well.
Yeah.
With all these weapons out here, it's no excuse for the offense not to produce. It's no excuse out there. So, and I like how Josh is really putting the ball where he's located, where he's putting that location. That ball location is definitely key, especially when you have smaller guys and Cole Beasley and Motor, to the point where now you got some taller guys and Duke Wims. I say even Duke Wims is looking good out there today.
Yeah.
He's playing physical. He caught the ball in some tight, in some tight places. And that's what we want to see. We want to see improvement because last year, he wasn't keeping his eyes locked in on the ball, and that's where drops will happen. Our guy, Dawson Knox, owes me some push-ups.
He dropped. Don't tell me he dropped some.
Yep. Dawson Knox,
Okay, so that leads us to our next. We got to get to some of these questions and comments because it was a question about Dawson Knox. So let's go through some of these comments here, man. Salvatore says, I heard Norman was great and Wallace got hurt. What you hear about Josh and Wallace today? Did Wallace go there?
Well, Wallace didn't start practice. He had a sore back.
Okay.
So he didn't. He was out for practice. Ed Oliver was out for practice. Tommy Sweeney was out for practice. Coach made that known at 9:00 this morning. Ty Niski, wasn't listed, but he wasn't on the field too much.
Okay.
So then you got Isaiah Hodgkins and Roshan Joseph. They had red jerseys on for no contact, so they was out getting reps, but was no contact for those guys.
Is Voshan still? Is he still recovering from the injury he had last year?
I think they're just more or less precautionary.
Okay.
This is the first day at camp. We don't want guys to finally be cleared and then just going gung ho and then injure something else. You know what I mean? So you just want to gradually bring those guys along. Especially coming in with those little, nursing injuries or whatever if they're not completely healed. So, we want to have Voshan around. So, they're going to monitor him. as much
Right.
as they can.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it is.
All right.
That's
Well,
how it's
we'll get
going
some of
right
these
now.
comments. Mario Canedo Jr. says championship caliber. Most indeed. Gerald, our man Gerald McElwain, Gerald's always with Gerard McElwain, so he's always with us. Says Josh looks bigger this year. He definitely does. He's definitely bigger. I think we saw that in actually the picture that originally came out from the workouts in California when you did a side by side. Like he definitely bulked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely been getting that grown man body. I think he's a little bit bigger than 237. That was his rookie weight. He could have added on a few more pounds of muscle because I think we got one of the best strength and conditioning coaches.
Hey, he got the
Coaching
award
staff.
this year.
Yeah,
He
in the building.
they won the award this year. So they won the
Mm-hmm.
award. They won the award for top strength and conditioning staff.
And I see how they acted at the combine, how they approach things, and I'm telling you, they're dead on. They're not playing any games, and they did a phenomenal job this year with the team. It's, a most exceptional job on um, how they basically didn't have too many injuries last year. Their recovery
Right.
process was just phenomenal, and keeping those guys, fit and ready to roll, on a week to week basis. So, yeah, we got one of the best strength conditioning staffs in the NFL. So, Josh definitely looks good, and everything just seems so right and so perfect this year. I mean, it's just unexplainable. It's just an unexplainable feeling just to see like all the pieces seem like they're in place. It seems like there's no gaps, there's no holes, nowhere to fill in. What I mean? It's just adding to what we have. It's just everything just seems so good. I mean, for a first day, for it to transpire how it transpired, it definitely looked promising. It definitely was exciting, and it was fun to watch.
Okay, well let's roll with these questions. Keep rolling with it. Eric says Tasker for Hall of Fame, man. He might make it in one day. It's gonna be tough for a special teamer, but if anybody can do it, it's gonna be Steve.
I had asked Steve that at the combine, and he was like, he's real modest. He's like, man, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get in. I was like, man, you created the position. Like they had to create something for you because you were just that good. Like you created that. So at some point he's definitely going to get that nod. I think Cornelius Bennett need to go in before Tasker.
Got to get Biscuit in.
Got to get Biscuit in, and then it's Tasker, and then it's Tally. Hopefully it's Tally. Those three guys, they should be up definitely for on the Wall of Fame. That's for sure. Well, Tasker's already up there.
Tasker's already Wall of Fame. Yeah,
Tasker's already up there.
He's been up there, man. He's been
Biscuit and Daryl got to go up.
With Daryl's up there. Daryl's up.
Daryl's up. Okay.
Yeah, Daryl's up. We got to get Biscuit up though, man. We got to make that right. We got to make that right.
Right. They got to get Biscuit up there. Right. I don't know if he went to. He must went to one of them Super Bowls late or something, and they honing against him.
Yeah, he did a couple of things. We ain't gonna get into. He did a couple of things. We ain't gonna do that. No, we ain't gonna talk about that.
That don't excuse his play. You know what I mean? Your legacy is about how you play the game.
Let's see, my man.
No problem doing that. Nobody had a problem about him doing how nobody had a problem with how he played on the field. So that needs to be rewarded and honored in itself. So
my man Jay says, "Good show, CFR." I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It's a lot of hard work going on over here. How did Moss look today? We actually got a couple questions from Zach Moss. So what did you hear from Zach Moss? I mean, it seemed like he got a lot of burn out there today.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's replacing Gore. He's basically a younger Gore. Faster, stronger, more physical. So yes, I mean he has that NFL prototype body. So he's going to be thrown out there in the sauce right away. So I say 200 carries for Motor, probably 100 and 120 for Moss.
Okay. Let's see. I think there was another question up here too about Moss. So hopefully that answer. My co-host from the Bills Yak podcast, NFL Pedigree as Outcome, James Merrill asked, how did TJ Yeldon look today? That's actually a pretty good question because TJ, after the comments, if anybody saw the comments from Heath Farwell yesterday, he said that between Cyrus Saran Neal and Tywan Jones, the Bills have one of the best gunner combos in the NFL. And that don't sound like Taiwan Jones going nowhere. So TJ may be out the door.
Yeah, it don't. I mean, they're bringing him in for special teams.
Yeah.
That's what. If you're not paying attention to what the Bills are doing, they brought in some key guys for special teams. They brought in AJ Klein, Tyler Matakevich, Taiwan Jones, and now it's to see what you got Daryl Johnson, he was pretty stout on special teams as well. He's back. They drafted Dane Jackson from out of Pitt, special teams guy, and then your guy, Reggie Gillum out of Toledo, another special teams guy. So our special teams is going to be the team is going to be real exciting to watch because we have the necessary pieces in all phases of the game to do well. We have the pieces in place to do well. It's not say, okay, well, who do you think we need to get this team over the top? I think all the pieces are there, and the hardest part is just up to the coaching staff to make sure that they put the right players on the field at the right times to make plays. That's it. You got to put them in position. That's the hardest part. Putting them in position to make plays. Now, I definitely feel that we have all the right pieces to win it all this year in all phases. We're not lacking in any area. Hopefully these guys can keep it up. They can stay healthy, and and we'll just see how the season goes. Day by day, as they say, day by day. On a week-to-week basis, and right now it's all about preparing for the Jets and earning the right to win against the Jets. So that's where those guys are right now. But it looks damn good.
Right. If you guys are tuning in late, we are live. You can go back and actually watch the recap of this. It's going to be on our YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to that. It's going to be on our Facebook page, and then we'll be cutting up clips and put it on our Instagrams and stuff like that. But we are live with Bills writer Mookie Hawkins from Power 96.5 W1080 WUFO Buffalo. Is in the building with us tonight. We're actually going to be trying to do this most training camp days to keep you guys informed. As my man Mookie always say, you can get it from somebody else, or you get it straight from the source. So we're gonna try to keep you source stuff if you at home watching every night. If we can.
Yeah, way how it is now. Camp is
it's rough.
Real exclusive. They not no information out here. That's for sure.
Right.
We can only report so much. So it's kind of like we kind of got like muzzles on at certain phases of it, but I'm fine with it. As long as I get the opportunity to watch and see it all unfold. But certain things that I can displace and certain things that I can't. So that's the whole suspenseful thing about that.
We actually had a question, and I don't want to skip over my man's question because my man Michelle Holloman says, how were Hodges and Davis? You hear anything out of camp from them today? The two rooks?
Well, Hodges had the red jersey on with no contact. He went out and caught some passes. Gabe Davis looks pretty good. I just like his frame. He reminds me of Robert Woods a little bit. In that frame of mind, but a little bit more bigger. He's a little bit more stout. But hey, and that's a guy that I'm telling you, he can play inside and he can play outside. So yeah, Davis looked pretty good out there. For the first day, the guys looked good out there. You can't, it's like, what's the name, stuck up the field or no. Everybody looked good out there. They looked like they were in sync. They looked like they were on the same page out there. If Josh had an issue with something that he didn't like, hey, he'll run it back. Let's do it again. Let's not just talk about it. Let's get back in the huddle. Let's run that same play. Let's get it right. So, these guys are really focused on, executing and perfection on that offensive side. So, and that's a clear mark of maturity from our quarterback, Josh Allen.
Yeah, definitely. I can see, actually one of the pictures, he's like saying, hey, do it again. So, this is what type of leader he's going to be. And I always allude to the point of this. I know how much how much disdain we have for Tom Brady here in Buffalo. And I get it. But in 10 years, we're going to be thanking Tom Brady because that's Josh Allen's idol, and he's gonna work just like Tom Brady does. He's gonna work tirelessly. He's gonna expect perfection. So in 10 years, when Tom is long gone, and the memory is of him just trouncing us every year, we're gonna be extremely happy that we have somebody who idolized Tom Brady and then idolize, I don't know, someone like Aaron Rodgers with a horrible attitude. Yeah, that's a knock. That's a knock on Aaron. I want to give that. That was all puns intended. So it could be worse. Let's see. We had another question here. My man Pete Weeks says, "What's the tight end situation?" Now I know you already said that Dawson Knox owes you come push-ups. Now, if y'all don't know about push-ups back in the day, I don't know if you even allowed to do this no more with all the new rules, but in sanctions, you drop balls, you gave 10 push-ups. So what's going on with Dawson? He had a 20% drop percentage last year. He was open a lot. We figured I said he'd be the X factor this year. What is up with him today and the whole tight end situation as a whole?
Well, it's just getting out there, and you expecting everybody slinging on all calibers, catching balls, and then when it's his turn, he just drop the
Boom.
ball. Like the only target you get, what I mean, you drop it. So it's like, come on now. I mean, that's the only negative spot from camp is that Dawson Knox dropped his only target today. You can't have that. You can't drop your only target. And he spoke on like, hey, I just gotta be ready when my number get called. There's gonna be some plays where I'm 1 and 2 in the progression. So basically, you knew you was the number one guy in that specific play. So you can't be dropping the ball out there, man. Let's get that fixed, get that right.
Yeah, you can't do that. We can't do that.
Pay that bill. Where I'm from, we call that pay that bill.
Yeah, he gonna be paying. He gonna be buying 30 packs, man. COVID. He gonna be playing quarantine 30 packs all season, man. He dropped the ball. You can't have him doing it. My man, John Golden says Voshan is legit. I agree with him. I wanted to see this guy hit the field last year. I truly wanted to see him hit the field last year, and I was so devastated when he went down injury. I mean, he has a motor and just an engine. I mean, and his attack, his will to attack.
Right.
He reminds me a lot of Nigel Bradham, and I was a big Nigel Bradham fan. Huge Nigel Bradham fan.
Up on things.
Yeah.
Nigel definitely running up on things. He wanted all the smoke. Definitely Voshan is one of those type of guys. He wants all the smoke. He's very violent at the point of attack. And, that's something we have yet, got the opportunity to see. And, we're going to see that real soon. If we can keep that guy healthy, man, we're going to see some hats flying around on that defensive side this year. That's for sure. Not only him, you got Tyrell Dobson, and that's another thing. How well were those guys doing on special teams? Because that second unit of linebackers are on specials. You got Tyler Matakevich, then you're going to have Voshan, and then you're going to have Tyrell Dodson out there. So, what are they going to contribute to special teams is going to be, their niche first and foremost. So, to get those guys in shape, get them in tune to what, Coach Farrell needs on the special teams, and then everything else is going to pretty much materialize on the defensive portion.
Okay. We had a couple good questions. You guys come with the juicy questions tonight. I like this. To keep the show rolling. We have to go longer than half an hour with these good questions. Chris Fowler says, do you guys worry about the condition of players going full speed week 1 against the Jets? Seem like this should be a concern. For me personally, I think I watched the video of these guys, this particular team training all off season. I think that as a unit, we'll be fine. As for other teams in the NFL, I can't say that. I mean, we saw a team in Dallas that lost Gerald McCoy, unfortunately, to a torn ACL today. I mean, knock on wood that we don't have that issue, but I think as a team, the Bills are going to be fine. I think they're hungry, they're younger. I've seen most of them conditioned. I know for instance, Tremaine Edmonds, I mean, he lives on pretty much a training plantation with his brothers and father all offseason. And that's all they do. Them Edmonds boys get at it. The E-boys, as they call it. They get at it.
Well, everybody looked at good coming into camp. Nobody looked at out of shape. Nobody looked at overweight. These guys in the offseason pretty much stayed on one another as far as conditioning and workouts. The Bills training staff made sure that they did virtual workouts with those guys every day, made sure that they was on top of their workouts doing them while they were quarantining at home. And then periodically, those guys did hook up in certain areas, a la Florida and in Virginia for the defense. So those guys looked in shape. Now, I mean, if you look at the tape or videos and stuff of the guys today, they look pretty good. The frames look pretty good. I mean, Cody Ford looks good to even be coming off of, surgery and stuff like that. So, the guys are looking good. They looking like they're in shape. Nobody's look out of shape. And I'm quite sure, hey, Coach McDermott is definitely put them to the test as far as conditioning, before you even put the pads on. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, with flying around, being fast out there against the Jets. That's what we want to play. We want to be fast. We want to be physical, because a lot of teams might not be that way, because they're trying to get in shape. They're going to have to play their way into shape, because some teams out there have been lacking, and we're going to see on week one and then on a week to week basis. But I don't think our condition is an issue. It won't be an issue.
Okay. And we had another comment question here, and I think this is very indicative to what you're talking about, especially going week one against the Jets. My man Jason Towle says, what do you think about Gore's comment saying if the Bills had actually let him play, he would have had 1,000 yards last year? Listen, stop it, Frank. When Frank Gore was brought to Buffalo, there was never a thought in anybody's mind, not even his, that he was going to run for 1,000 yards. Because let's remember, when he brought up, he's supposed to be the number 2 punch to spell Shady if Shady was here. And when they drafted Devin, it was okay. It's a 3-headed monster potentially, and he's going to mentor Devin part of the time, spell Shady, and then let Devin get some carries towards the middle end of the season. When Shady was then released, then it became, okay, Frank Gore's going to go until we feel Devin's ready. Devin was ready before week one even hit, and they just refused to use him until they had to. There was never a thought.
He got hurt, so they kind of got like a little nervous with that, and
right?
Make sure that they was careful on bringing him back at the right time.
Right, but come on, Frank. Frank is 37 years old. There's no way in hell we would give a 36-year-old back 1,000 yards. That should be like elderly abuse. Give a 36-year-old man. Hell no.
All right. Right. Hey, anything that motivates you, man, you got to do something. That's going to motivate him. So, that'll motivate us. Let's see if he get a yard against us. That's something he couldn't do for us last year. Get 1 yard at certain times of the game, and that's my guy. But certain times I'm like, Dad, you can't get a yard. Like, what's going on?
After he got up until the record, he was good. But then after he got not the record, after he went into second place all time, it was all downhill from there. It was, I mean, that was an airline stock right now. It was just straight down from there. And every time he got hit at the knees, he limped and he tapped his head. So stop it, Frank.
It's not our problem right now. We'll see him. We'll see him on the 13th, and hey, he got to answer that against that defense. He got to go against that defense week one, and I don't think they're gonna be too happy. With what was said. But anything to motivate you will motivate us. So we'll see what the work looking like on the 13th.
Frank gonna get Frank ain't gonna get nothing unless we blowing them boys out week one. Frank ain't gonna get 100 carries this season, but Frank go sit down somewhere. Let's see. Cheyenne Durham says Allen's gonna be a stud. I'm all in on Allen. Mario Canelo says maybe, but Gore was more of a punch through guy, needing that 2 or 3 yards to get the first down. T.J. Yeldon had a huge case of the Butterfingers, which he did. That's actually why he got pretty much deactivated. He had his chance to prove himself when Singletary was out to become that third back on the roster, and he kind of fumbled it away, literally. Let's see. Connor Anderson says, what do you guys think is going on with the defense in position?
I don't know. I mean, we can't report depth chart. Okay. We can't report depth chart. Like, I can't report to you who came out on the first unit defense, and that something that would answer Connor's question, but we can't report any of that stuff. But I don't know. I mean, do you start the game off with Addison and Jerry Hughes? I don't think so. I've been saying that for, weeks now. Like, are they going to start the game with Addison and Hughes on the edges, right and left? Being that they are, little 250, we need a little bit more, beef on one of those edges and a run support. So Trent Murphy, he's kind of quiet today. He's
been quiet. He's been quiet for 2 years.
Sorry. You got Espinosa 6'8", 280. You know, that just that alone looks good out there. You know, on the edge as far as run support. So, I mean, the Bills have a loaded defensive front where they can mix and match and move people around like in Rubik's Cube. You can Ed Oliver can play off the edge. Quentin Jefferson can play off the edge. You have so many guys that can play off that edge. It's like I said, it's going to be fun and exciting to watch to see where these guys line up to go ahead and make plays this year. Teams are going to be in serious binds because it's just too many dogs out there. We got too many dogs now. So hopefully the coaching staff put the guys in the right position to make plays, and it's up to the players to go out there and make plays.
Right. I want to show some comments, some love, because I love, we know it coat from, we love. We love Bills Mafia love. See so much hate out there at times. Connor Anderson says, I hope to see Horrible Harry this year. Got a great guy. Hey, my man Michelle Holloman responded, Connor, same. He was coming to his own. I love that type of interaction. Bills Mafia hugs. If I could throw some likes and hugs, if I can throw some hugs in there, I'm gonna throw it in the chat. Throw some hugs in there, man. Throw some hugs in the chat for y'all. But yeah, you know what? What I know you can't report on the defensive line. Now, mind you, if you guys don't know, there are more restrictions this year in the media and what they can report because of this COVID-ridden offseason. They cannot report on things such as depth chart. They cannot record certain things. They cannot talk about certain things. A lot more restrictions this year. So, I mean, we know that Big Bean must be loving it because you know how secretive they love to be. But as far as what I would like to see personally with this defensive line is obviously you got Jerry Hughes solidified in his spot. You got Ed Oliver solidified in his spot. Obviously now I at the defensive tackle spot, I think you're going to end up getting Vernon Butler probably starting next to Ed Oliver, in my opinion. But I would love to see Quentin Jefferson start on that other edge because, like you said, you do have to have a little beef. And if you start Addison and Hughes, you are going to be a little light against the run at the same time. So I would love to see Jefferson start on the other edge with Epinesa backing him up. And I would love to see Trent Murphy either traded or released and have that $7 million rolled over because we don't know if the season's going to finish in. I'm sorry, for $7 million of cap savings, you need to roll that over because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if this cap is going to roll back to 175 or 179 next year if this season does not finish. We don't know. So I think for a rotational guy in this type of season, I'd rather pay Mike Love the $750K or $1 million to be that rotational guy with Daryl Johnson than pay the $7 million for Trent Murphy to be rotational. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough. It's just tough. I agree with you. I mean, we paying you $8 million for what again?
Three sacks and a couple fired up crowd things. A couple of these. So I don't know.
That don't win no bar games. That don't help us win.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with you. I'd say take that and go grab Clowney, but I mean, without Trent Murphy, we still have a great rotation up front. So, hey,
right.
Like maybe we might see something in the weeks to come. They got to cut guys. They got to cut guys. So, he'll play all the way up until then, and they have to make that decision.
Right.
Decision, but they're gonna give him this training camp to to figure it out. It's a heated competition. I mean, the best guy win, and if they feel that he's 2 or 3 guy in the rotation, then you're right. There's no reason for him to be in the rotation at that point. If he's 2, 3, 4,
right.
maybe he shouldn't be in here because I mean, what you gonna do with Daryl Johnson?
Right, and Daryl Johnson, you got to get him more reps this year. I mean, this is a guy who came in. The fact that he got meaningful reps last season, I mean, he was developing just fine, and you got to keep that trend going because, like I've said last year, I haven't seen a size in a defensive lineman like that and that type of length. Honestly, since Jason Taylor, and I'm not comparing him to Jason Taylor because obviously we know Jason Taylor is a Hall of Famer, but that size you can't teach, and that could be very problematic for linemen and offenses as a whole.
Absolutely. I mean, he blocked a few kicks last year on special teams. So
yeah,
that's an asset. That's just like how you were saying with Tywan Jones, possibility making TJ Yeldon a little expendable. So it's a lot of things that make Trent Murphy expendable at the price that we're paying him, and he's not. Only thing he's giving you is rushing the passer sometimes, containing a run sometimes, not for $8 million. So yeah, I'd rather pay a young guy that I can develop and have more time with to do that with at a cheaper price, than
Mhm.
a big name free agent that's basically not putting out what we're paying.
Correct. And we got one more good comment here now. So we're gonna start wrapping it up. So get your last couple questions in, and we'll take a couple more, and then we're gonna wrap it up and get ready for camp day 2 tomorrow. My man Keanu says, with Heath's latest comments on Cyron Neal and Taiwan Jones being the best combo gunner duo, Foster could be on the bubble. And you know what? That very well so, because I thought Foster was a very good gunner last year, but when we brought Taiwan Jones in, yeah, competition everywhere.
Foster is fast, but he's light. You can push him around a little bit, but he's fast. It's gonna get down there. He has made some tackles, but Saran Neal was
Savage.
he was straight savage out there. I think he's probably what, our leading tackler on the team
Yeah,
on
savage,
special
man.
teams, right? He was
Yeah.
our leading tackler. So you bring another veteran guy in with that, and I'm telling you, this special teams is going to be all the watch how physical our special teams is this year, and watch the great field position that we're going to have because of our special teams. Hopefully, we'll get the opportunity. I mean, you don't like to punt the ball, but I used to cringe a lot when we had to because it was just that split second for almost getting blocked. But now we
Yeah.
got some big physical guys up front that's going to tussle a little bit to give our punter some time to make a more accurate and powerful kick.
Right. One of the comments, Eric says, look like Josh was dropping the ball over the top of the receivers right into their hands. Do you think this will carry over into a game when AD is putting pressure on him?
I think so. I
Okay.
think so. I think that Josh, he don't get credit for it. He under pressure, he's pretty damn accurate.
He's almost better under pressure
Yeah,
by the
he's
numbers.
under pressure. He's very accurate under pressure because he get a chance to move. He's a mobile quarterback. He's not really a pocket passer. So that's where he has trouble overstriding sometimes. But when he's on the move, he's as accurate as he comes. Just look at the pass against New England when smoked Gilmore. He
Yeah.
was under pressure, but he was able to hang in there and drop a dime, 50-yard dime. It's another 50-yard dime that he gave to Smoke Brown, pretty much to end practice today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's going to be pretty accurate on putting the ball where it needs to be. Ball location in year 3 is where we need to see improvements at in Josh Allen. Tom Brady was one of the best that ever did it as far as ball location and anticipation. Hopefully, Josh could, pick that up this year. And if he does, oh man, he's going to be super dangerous. It's going to be
Yeah.
super dangerous.
So yeah, I think he gets better. I think he gets better with the deep ball, though, definitely, because I mean, if you think about it, his rookie year, he couldn't hit the intermediate ball. He could hit the deep ball, but he couldn't hit intermediate ball. He spent the entire offseason last year working on intermediate ball. I mean, he was over above 60%, almost 70% with the 10 to 12, the 7 to 12. So this year,
and then you got drops too. Let's not discount that a lot of passes were drops. So
number 1 drop team in NFL last year.
Yeah.
We cannot forget that the Bills were the number 1 drop team in NFL. And don't forget, Dawson Knox dropped 20% of his passes. So, and those are easy completions. So you go back to this offseason. This is what did he do? He worked on focusing on developing the deep ball. Like I said, we had a conversation with Bill Polian this offseason, and Bill Polian said it's 4 stages of development for a quarterback. Stage 1 is getting in there. He said pretty much learning where your locker is and where your parking spot is in season 1. Season 2 is understanding what the players on your team are around you, who they are, and how you can use them. Step 3 is using those players and what you're seeing pre-season 3, and these steps are by season. So this season 3 is understanding what's going on pre-play and using your weapons to your advantage. And season 4 is understanding what the defense is doing to you and using their mistakes against them. And their weaknesses. So he's in stage 3, and I think he's right on course. Polian said he's right on course. Now, I heard this from this man's mouth sitting right next to me. There was no social distancing at the time, but he was said right next to me. So, but yeah,
he's kind of ahead of it. I think right now he's looking at what the defense is giving me and how I can manipulate it now. I don't think he's waiting year 4 for that. I'm thinking he's focusing on that right now. I mean, with the weapons that he has, he needs to focus on that now. When he go do his pre-snap, man, how they playing Diggs? Let's just, man. If I'm coming out of there, offensive coordinator, I'm going to put up a play to see how they're playing him, and I hope that Josh see the same thing that I see, so we can work the magic from there. And and it's all up to Josh to figure that one out. The coach called the plays, but it's up to Josh to magically make it happen. So absolutely, I think that he's ahead of schedule, and I think that's something that he's working on this year. I mean, if I think he did say that in the question that I asked him. If you got to go back to that when Josh was up last week talking, I think he said a little bit of something what you were just mimicking just a minute ago in reference to how he, looking at the defense, dissecting the defense, taking what they give me and what beats that, how to manipulate that. So I think that he's processing that in year 3. It's not waiting in year 4 with the weapons that he has. He has no choice but to try to do that right now. He's in the second year with Cole Beasley and John Brown. Right now, they're getting Steph Diggs caught up to pace, and the year 2 with Motor Singletary and Dawson Knox. So he has everything around him that's comfortable, that he's familiar with. So the confidence level should be off the roof with Josh Allen and this offense, just on the fact that all the weapons that he has around him is back for another year together with that O line. So this is the year that the offense has to join the party and arrive. And be explosive and be more aggressive out there on the field. So that's what I want to see the offense do this year. I want us to be attacking. I want us to be aggressive, because if we're attacking right off the end, then that's a good sign that we're going to potentially score some points early. And if we're able to do that and allow our defense to play how they need to play, then we should win a lot of ball games that way.
Right. No, I mean, like I said, I think Josh is right. I have to agree with you. I think he's a little bit ahead of schedule. And I think that the reason he doesn't seem ahead of schedule is because the media goes back and forth. The media is like the national media is like the most bipolar thing ever when it comes to Josh Allen. And I think that's because a lot of them called him a buzz, that he can hit the right. I remember hearing he can hit the right side of a barn or the wide side of a barn. They don't want to be wrong on Josh.
They've been wrong.
But they're gonna be, and they know they're gonna be, and this is why you get Colin Cowherd, and I'll call him out saying 1 week, the Bills are gonna win AFC East. Next week they're 9-7. Josh Allen is good enough. Then the third week, Josh Allen's gonna be the best quarterback in the AFC East. This is why you're getting that back and forth. They can't accept the fact that they misjudged his scouting report. That's exactly what happened.
And they misjudged that, and then they're keeping themselves safe, because one day they mimic, okay, Josh is looking good, and then the next day, then like how you say, they talk about his completion percentage, and they talk about his fumbles and stuff like that. Which one is it? So right now they're trying to be 50-50 like a raffle, and when the games are being played, then they're going to figure what side to choose and make themselves right, because you're contradicting yourself every time you open your mouth when you talk about Josh Allen. But I mean, looking at Josh Allen, I see the improvement year in and year out. And with these weapons that he has, I don't see no type of drop off. I don't see any type of, slump, if you will. Only thing I can see him is producing way better than he did last year. And, as a starting quarterback, they finished 10-6. So with that being said, the confidence is through the roof right now. It's just up to Josh Allen to be consistent. He has to be consistent in that regard. And once he gets consistent, like he was consistent today at practice, then like I said, then you'll hear Colin Cowherd talking praises of Josh Allen and coming out with all his old reports of how he was riding that wave, and all those old bad reports. He's going to get rid of those. But guys like you and me, we got that on deck. We got that on deck to say otherwise when it comes to that. Don't
Right.
ride the wave now. You know what I mean? We tell everybody now. You know what I mean? Don't ride the wave now. Don't ride it now, because that wave gonna get pretty big real quick. When we destroy the Jets, when the Bills destroyed the Jets this year, week 1, we put up 30, 40 points. Everybody's gonna be riding that wave. I'm telling you now.
And that's the biggest thing about it. Like I said, this team was 10-6 last year, and if you really don't pretty much throw that last game against the Jets away, you could have been 11-5. But when you really, really look at this team in all reality, this was a 12-4 team last year. They blew a couple games they shouldn't have blown through inexperience. And don't forget, McDermott is not a seasoned coach yet. He's getting it. This is going to be where he should be half everything on lock this year. He's only been last year was only third year as a head coach. So I mean, he's getting to that point where he's extremely seasoned in how he handles situations. This is a young front office. Yeah. This is a young coaching staff. There's a lot of young coaches staff. Ken Dorsey's, Leslie Frazier older, Brian Dable has been in this league, but the people under him, there's a young staff. So as everything gets seasoned and gets better, as we get better over time, everything's going to become easier. And like you said, this team will start dominating people. Those games when we thought last year, they're going to come out and just beat the holy hell out of this team, and we end up winning out by 7 or 10 late. It's not going to be like that. We're going to come out and we're going to dominate the game for 4 quarters, and that's what's going to happen. And that's where we're going to earn our respect from national media.
And the good thing about that is, if we do, Josh Allen had 4 fourth quarter comebacks last year and 5 game winning drives last year. Yeah. So if we need him to just pull one out, we know that he's capable of doing that, especially now with the weapons that he has. I mean, it shouldn't get to that point. They should be, Coach McDermott should be chilling in the 4th quarter, drinking the Gatorade
like he wants to.
He wanted to. And, and that's the expectation. That's the expectation. Let's come out here. Let's attack. Let's punch them in the mouth early and keep the foot on the gas, man. Keep the foot on the gas. It's our time. It's no fun when the rabbit got the gun, and that rabbit right now is at William Bills Drive. And, right now we're excited about what's going on out there.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, guys, we went over our time. We said we're gonna do a 30-minute show, but sometimes you getting this football chatter, and it just goes on like Energizer Buddy, keep going and going and going and going. And but no, I mean, we can sit here and talk forever. But hey, I know Mookie got to get prepared for day 2 tomorrow. I gotta get prepared for day 2 tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe we'll be back tomorrow. Who knows?
Yes, maybe I asked Coach McDermott that, but I probably won't ask him that tomorrow. I'll probably ask him, about that, like, how do you feel with Addison and Hughes? Do they start off the game together, being that they kind of a little light in the weight department? You know what I mean? So that's something I'll ask him. I'll ask him pretty soon.
Yeah, the answer he's going to give you. Well, we're going to put the best 4 guys on the field. That's what you're going to get, but that's okay. You got to ask it. Anyway. Hey, guys.
They super secretive about stuff. And I don't know. If we can't report depth charts, I'm probably sure he ain't going to give me that one either.
No. You are not the fact that you can't ask really report it. I said being sitting right at home. Hey, but once again, hey, thank you guys for all tuning in. Let's get ready for day 2. Everybody get ready for day 2 tomorrow. We'll have some more pictures and videos. Make sure that you're following the Cold Front Report on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Exclusive pictures. Exclusive.
And YouTube. Make sure you follow my man Mookie on Twitter at Primetime Mookie Hawkins.
That's right, on Twitter. Waffle Sports, Primetime Mookie Hawkins. I'm on Twitter all day. Waffle Sports on Facebook. Waffle Sports on Instagram.
Right. So make sure you follow. I mean, he got the exclusive. Like, so Mookie's the plug, man. Hey, like I said, you get it from somebody else, or you get it straight from the source. That's how it goes. But hey, that's our time.
Bills World.
Straight from the source, Bills World. Hey, and make sure you catch his weekly recaps. We're gonna start sharing the code from because he does a really good job, and we like Mookie. He's a friend of mine. Hey, guys, make sure that you guys are following both of us on all platforms. Make sure we may be back tomorrow. We'll see what happens. We have day 2, play for no injuries. Let's knock on wood. And soon enough, they're going to start getting the machete out and cutting people. So that time's going to come. Oh, you got the machete? Oh, we got a new person in the cold front with a machete. Yeah, I like this machete better. But hey, guys, we are up out of here. That's our time. We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure if you didn't see the whole show, go back and recap it. And always, we keep you engaged. Cold Front Report, WFO 1080, Mookie Hawkins, WFO, Power 96.5. Let's get it. We out.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. It's still COVID season, people.